Test, 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 test. Alright, we got the volume going. We're streaming. Let me get the video for that up. So guys, if you're in here now, I'm just trying to get the streaming video up so I can let other people know. Okay. You know what? Let's do this. There we go. So we got the tweet up. Let's post this and then we'll get right on it, guys. Let me go ahead and grab this too. Okay, so I think it'd be easier to start if I put my stream on the Follow Me tab. Let me do that real quick. This way, when I'm jumping around, I don't have to keep switching my screens and stuff. It's 6:35. We'll go ahead and jump into it. And that way, if anybody wants to join, you know, we'll be talking about the other stuff first here. Okay. So let's go over earnings, and we'll talk about some of that stuff. We'll go into economic stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll look at some of these stocks individually on earnings and some of the other plays. And we'll go over SPY, what it's doing, and just give some general areas to watch out for this week, along with some specific stocks and possibly plays to be watching out for too. Alright. Let's see, where's my thing at here? Alright, so this is going to be kind of a little bit of a hectic week. Some big things has happened on the economic side, along with, you know, the market is not doing the best. Let me pull up this too. We're thinking about it. Earnings beat data. And then we want right here. So you can see our earnings beat data is still below 70, which is not good for the overall market. Now you can say, yeah, but the market's going up in some areas. That's true, but that's just people buying based on emotions. If the individual stocks in the whole market is not doing good, it's only a matter of time until it's going to show in the overall market too. Along with that, the CPI wasn't good. what, CPI wasn't good, the retail wasn't good, and something, was it PPI? Yeah, PPI wasn't good. So all that wasn't good, but the market still kind of either consolidated or even trended upward slightly. The only thing about the market right now that kind of makes me hesitant to say that we're not going to pull back for sure is we're still very put heavy in the market. Now, if you follow Max Payne theory or the put versus call ratio, the theory there is if you're really put heavy in the market, then it's going to be hard to sell off because those, well, at least the market makers are going to do what they can to keep it from selling off so that a lot of that money ain't paid out. The same thing is true with calls. So if we expected the market to pull back, we would expect it to be more call heavy in the market. And this is the open interest for the end of the week. We can see we are very put heavy. We are over double, almost triple the amount of puts as calls. So I don't know. I know that retail is very bullish right now, while smart money is more conservative or even bearish right now. And I understand why now. I didn't in the beginning when they first, because it was a little early to be that way. But you know, they get information a lot quicker than retail does. They just have the money and the tools to get that information. So if we're looking at earnings, the things that we need this to be a really good earnings week to kind of hopefully propel us up over that 70%. Now, some of the things that I find interesting coming in this week is Walmart, Home Depot, Coinbase, maybe Caesars, we'll see. Fiverr, maybe. Overstock, surely. Nvidia, definitely. Lucid, Unity, Etsy, Teladoc, all those definitely. Moderna, Alibaba, Block or Square. Carvana is one to be watched. It's not going to matter much for the overall market, but it's been doing some crazy stuff. And this is one I've been playing on and off here lately with shares, not options. Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm interested to see what it finally does. Beyond Meat, Intuit, Wayfair. What else we got? That's about it for now. And we'll go over some of those individuals and see what the chart looks like on some of those here in a minute. I want to put these two up side by side because sometimes Benzinga don't update quite fast enough. So some of the big things we want to watch for this week is the FOMC minutes from the last FOMC meeting. Is out on Wednesday. That's one thing. We have, let's start here, the S&P Global Composite PMI, which I think the ISM is next week. PMI, that's the one. That's one of the big ones. But yeah, we're definitely looking at the PMI numbers. We definitely want to be watching existing home sales. Pretty much anything over here with a 4.5 or a 5 out of 5 we want to watch. GDP numbers are in this week. We definitely want to keep an eye out on that day. I'm not so much interested in the numbers as I'm interested in how the market reacts to this stuff. Let's see. PMI, PCE, that's another one, especially this core PCE. New home sales, Michigan consumer sentiment, consumer expectations. That was a big one last time. This one really moved the market last time, so that'd be interesting to see how that reacts. Is there anything that's not updated on it yet? Let's see. The 2-year note, the 5-year note, and there's probably a 7 or a 10. 7. Is there a 10 too? Yeah, no. And also, Fed Mester, we want to hear what she's got to say because I'll show you something here in a minute that's very interesting. Fed Jefferson, There's a couple other feds talking here. Let's see. Bostic, that's another interesting one I'd like to hear. Williams. Almost every day this week we're going to have a Fed speaking, except for tomorrow. And the interesting thing about Fedmaster is she's the first one that's saying, all right, the next rate hike should be a half a point, not the 25. So we're no longer thinking that, okay, the 25 is fine, and then we can maybe even run into the pause. We are now thinking, okay, we're not doing enough and we need to get ahead of it. At least that's what she's saying. And she's starting to get traction with Fed Bowman jumping on and possibly Bernard too. If any one of those, especially if both of them jump on with this with her, I could see the half a point being a real thing the next time around. And I mean, it's good that they're getting ahead of it, but in the short term, that's going to sell off the market. Okay. Okay. Now we got the economic. Okay, so let's look at sectors, and then we're going to go into looking at the SPY and some individual plays this week. Now, we done killer last week, guys. I don't know if y'all seen any of this, but let me do a little bit of bragging here for a minute. So these are all plays, well, not all of them, but there was a lot of decent plays here from last week. The ARC puts that we put out killed. The individual plays that we had on the SPY, like this one right here, was able to get 85% out of just like 8 minutes on this individual play here, called out during the live trading session. So guys, if y'all can be in that live trading session, it's well worth it, especially in the morning for the first hour or two. Throughout the day, it's kind of hit or miss. It just depends on if we see anything worth trading or not. But the first hour or two and the last couple of hours, so let's say from opening to about 11, maybe 12, and then from about 2 on to 4. Yes, the Wells Fargo play, perfect, worked out great. Trying to see what this one is now. I think this is Oxy. Yeah. No, this is ExxonMobil. That was a killer play. Now, we've been playing that for about 2 or 3 weeks now, and it just keeps giving. And then we talked about the ARC. So, if you're missing these plays, guys, I post them in the Trading Collective under Zero Alerts here. And if you're part of my Discord, which I have a lot of good information over here on the side, everything from education materials up to plays and stuff like that. If you look in the watch list calendar or shot caller, you can see a lot of those plays too, like the Google Play, market outlook stuff. All that is in there. So that's just something I want to make people aware of. If you're in the Trading Collective, if you're new to the Trading Collective, the first thing you have to do is come into the welcome page and click this, and it'll give you access to everything. It's all free, guys. And then check out my page here, Zero Alerts. We also have the profits page, the watch list page, and public chat, education page. All that. It's a very good source. And also, if you have this, there's a Selene page too, which if you actually have Selene, there's a little bit more in this. That's part of their pay for service. Let me find it here, like the options, AI prediction, trading ticks information, golden sweeps, dark pools, all that is in there with that. Okay, so let's check out. Now that I did a little bit of pitching, let's check out this. Okay, so we can see XLE was pretty much the only thing that really was up quite a bit, and a lot of that had to do with a lot of good earnings. The last week was great for oil earnings, and the week before was a little bit too. XLU, which is utilities, that's up. CPI was in, so anything like consumer and staples, energy, and utilities is going to be up because of that. Industrial. What else we have? XLP. That's staples, right? Yeah, staples. Yep. And then you can see down here like technology, discretionary. All that is what was the lowest, and that's what we expect to see when CPI comes in high, inflation's in high, all that kind of stuff. I'm looking for. There it is. So with SPY, we've kindly been trading within this range. Overall, it's been kindly going down, and we've multi-topped. We've yet to break out of this box right here. So I'm looking at the 4 hour, just mainly because it gives us a little bit more detail, and I have a lot of my lines turned off just so we can see a little bit better in this. But we can see right here, this box that I drew last week or week before last, we did have two in here. The other one was up here where this was hidden at. I found out this was probably a little bit better, and I just got rid of that because it was getting to be a little bit confusing, especially when we already have a pivot point marked there. You can also see that these are also the starts of some volume profile shelves. I have a video. We did a class on volume profile. I have a video of that coming out this week, so that's well worth watching and catching up on. Volume profile is a great indicator. But you can see that we've yet to break out of this area, the 416.86 to 415.30. But we've also have been holding support around 404.26 to 403.05. And what I expect here this week is kind of one of two things. Either we bounce here, we break back over the 50, and we head back up to this area, and we just pretty much see what it gives us with the data coming through, or we reject right in this area the 50, which is 409. Because we have everything there. We have the 20, we have the 9, we have the 50, all that kind of convergence, VWAP, all that right in the kind of convergence point of this 409 area. If we reject there and we come back and test this area, it's possible we break free and we come on back down to the 200. That would signal probably our market structure being more bearish, and we pull them back. Like I said, we are a little bit more put heavy in the market, so we'll have to wait and see how that takes care of itself. But the market is looking a little bit bearish as far as fundamental goes and technicals go. So we just have to watch, which one of these areas get broken first. Is it going to be this upper level or this bottom level? And just going off my gut and some of the indicators, I'm betting it's going to be this bottom level that gets broke, but we're going to wait and see, and we're going to react instead of predict on this one. Apple, pretty much doing the same, trading within this zone. Amazon, you can see, is a little bit more bearish. We could probably expect it maybe to come back down to the 90 area. I don't know. I wish it would stay up over the 100, but there's just not enough going on in the market right now to let it. Tesla is actually doing pretty decent right now. It's holding this 200 area pretty nicely, and that's one of the things help propping up the market right now. If we look at oil, We was hoping that Dom would fall back into this trend, but it's looking like it's broken this trend and it's going to stay broken. Um, we do have some oil data coming out this week, along with a couple little energy things going on. But overall, they've already had their earnings. It was pretty decent. I look for this to possibly fall back down to that 106, 103 area, possibly. We just have to see, because ZOM should not be up in this area. It's like a $60, $70 stock normally. So, if we start trading below 200 at this point, the 200 EMA on the 4 hour, then I'm going to be bearish on this, and I'm going to start watching these lower levels and possibly plan them to them. But as of right now, I don't think we'll recapture this trend, and we'll have to start looking for the new market structure on this. Walmart has earnings this week, and this is what I'm interested in. We broke out this one time right here, kind of came down to this 200 or just right below it, found support and popped back in. But we're mostly trading within. Let me turn these blue so we can see what we're talking about. So we're mostly trading within these blue areas right here. There's two of them there for some. Well, okay, well, never mind. I don't know what that is. Why didn't that let me? Oh, I don't know what that is. Anyways, within this blue area right here, and if we catch a break, I'm not saying that it'll continue to sell off. We might have another one of these where it breaks and it regains it. But if we break one of these, look for a good spike. And I'm going to think with earnings coming up that it's probably going to be a decent earnings. Most guidance on earnings this time around has been pretty low. And surprisingly enough, some of them didn't beat it. But with Walmart and the way inflation's being, I look for this to do pretty decent. So we'll probably at least come back up to this 150 area, if not break out of it and continue higher. So I'm kind of bullish on Walmart this week. Square. Square is another one I would love to see it go up, and earnings may be pretty decent for it. But I just don't know if there's a much of a forward-looking guidance for it. So probably what we might see is a run-up to earnings and then a sell-off after earnings, even if they beat, or possibly even maybe if they do beat, a run-up just a little bit past that, and then a sell-off. So we got to watch that. This is another one I'm not going to play for earnings. I might play the run-up and then afterwards. But again, we are going to react, not predict. NVIDIA is the play that I'm most interested in this week. It has earnings. Semiconductors is kind of in a precarious area, and depending on what the market does, semiconductors can be a risk on, risk off type of play. So if the market is bullish and stays risk on, semiconductors could possibly do pretty well. But if the market is risk off, then semiconductors is probably going to be risk off too. We might see a little bit of a run up to earnings, but with all the trouble that semiconductors have been having, don't see them beating earnings. So if anything good comes out of earnings, it's going to be in their guidance. My opinion. I've not looked into it enough to say. Again, this is one of those I will be reacting, not predicting. But the areas I'm looking for in NVIDIA is around this green box of 210.23 to 207.45. If we break that area, we're definitely probably pulling back to the 200 area, possibly even the 196 area. And then if we catch a break of those areas, we're coming on down to the 200. Versus if we do catch our bounce here, we do get back over Yeah. Yeah, about 217. If we get back over that area, then we'll probably come back up and retest this top again around 229. So I would go a little bit shy of that just to make sure you catch the meat of the trade. It'd be around 220, 225-ish. So that's kind of our bull versus bear play on this short versus long play. So if we catch a break of this, we'll play it back down to 200, 201. If we catch a break over 217, then we'll play it to the 220, 225 area. And again, you know what you can do, like say you get 3 contracts, you sell the first one, once you get to like 30% or maybe you hit your first target, you leave a runner until you hit that second target, and then you set you a trail stop for your third one of 20%. You know, that's pretty good risk management for that one. So anything else that we're looking at, guys, is Coinbase and Moderna. Let's look at those two, and then we'll call it quits for today. So with coin, we've not got enough here to really set a trend, even though we are kind of in this flag here. You could even say descending triangle or a pennant. Again, if we break over this, you know, it's possible we head back up to these highs of 81. Probably wouldn't play it that high, you know, play it back to the 70s, possibly 73. And then, you know, if you want to set you a trail after that, that's fine. Versus if we break below our 50 here and we confirm underneath it, we're going to play it back down to the 200, which is about 50, 55. So, you know, we're looking at a possible 5 to 7 on the top side and a possible 7 to 10 on the downside dollar range. Moderna. So Moderna, I think it's possible it does pretty good for earnings. There's been a lot of great news coming out with some of their stuff. They've had a little bit of negative news, but more good news. Again, if we stay below this point of control in the 200, it's possible that we pull on back to the 140-ish area, 150, 140, which would give yourself quite a few delta cycles out of it. But we want to make sure that if we do play this to those levels, that we go out to 2 weeks to the monthly on that on the contracts. Versus if we do break back over 168.50-ish, 168.60-ish, then we can play it back up to the point of control, 177, and then we break over that. We can start talking about these other levels like 192 and then 200 and so forth and so on. Again, you want to play it just the levels you know it can hit and then set trails after that. So guys, if that's everything, if there's any questions, you can let me know now. If not, we'll end it. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you coming out and trading with me and going over stocks and stuff with me. Again, on trading days throughout the week, Monday through Friday, except for this Monday, President's Day, we do live trading from open to close. You can catch me right in here if you got any questions, or if you just want to come and see what we're trading, you're more than welcome to do that. And we're glad to have you. Again, if you're new to the Trading Collective, you will have to come into the welcome screen and click on this to get access to a lot of things here. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, and we'll see you this week trading.